Welcome back to the Crochet Credits with my friends over at yarnspirations.com. Today is the Fair Isle Fingerless Mitts. Check these puppies out, eh? So today I'm going to make the second one because, like there's one missing from this hand. This is a really fun pattern and I'm going to be showing you the complete pattern here on camera today. So get your crochet hook and let's get playing. So what you see here looks really kind of organized in comparison to the model. The way that they have models go, you don't realize that everything is very strategic. This pattern is a lot simpler than you may realize. You'll need a 3.5mm size US 4 crochet hook in order to play, and recommending that we have Peyton's Classic Wool DK Superwash. You can find this in stores. This is classic wool. Wool is in this thing, but the way that the hook is, because it's so much more smaller, and the way that this yarn, pardon the pun, it fits like a glove. I love this. And the color, hey, it's winter time. You might as well have some fun with some color. So today we're going to be dissecting this pattern here. It's a lot more simpler, but I've done my homework to show you some diagram work to make it easier, especially when it comes to the thumb area right here. So our goals is to get the cuff. My recommendation to you, if you were me and I were you, I would recommend doing both of the cuffs at the same time. In fact, I did, so that I made sure that they were exactly the same size. There's nothing worse than, well, there could be a lot of things worse, but there's nothing worse than getting cuffs that are not the same size, so that when you're finished you have one cuff that is looser than the other. So what I'm recommending is that when you do your cuff, do your second one at the same time, because you have to fasten off your yarn anyway. Get that done, and then we're going to then bury ourselves into the work. I'm going to show you a diagram next just to really indicate to you the Fair Isle concept, as well as how the thumb area is growing right here. Throughout this pattern we're going to be working on this chart, and it says to repeat the chart a certain amount of times before it gets into the thumb area. So what you're going to notice is that we're going to have a number of repeats in order to do it. And the nice thing about it is that all the way up just past the thumb there's always going to be 3 repeats on the one side and 3 repeats on the other, and the thumb is working independently, growing outward just like this. So it becomes very easy. The pattern is so well written, it's so crazy how well written it is that I think that you'll be able to master this pretty much in no time. Let me take you to the set of instructions, and I want to just point out a few things because you might want to grab a highlighter too. So on page number 2 there's a set of instructions. I blew it up for tutorial reasons, and I went through it with the highlighter, and I highlighted every time that it's doing an increase. You're going to notice that in the thumb area it increases on one round, and then the next one we just do single crochets around, and then the next round after that we increase. So every time there was an increase I highlighted it to make sure that I catch it, so that it's a lot easier to see. And you're going to notice that it's really quite easy to follow. Now I have a diagram that I've done for you for your convenience to understand on how this thumb is growing, because usually when thumbs grow in some of the really thicker yarn they only just grow right in the middle and it just kind of opens up. This one here is slightly different on where the growth is. Let me show you where those are. So let's grab our 3.5mm size E crochet hook and let's get ready to play. I'm recommending Peyton's Classic Wool. This is DK Superwash. If you're allergic to wool, just recommending then acrylic. Just do a gauge check to make sure that it's still going to fit if you're going to substitute, to make sure that the yarn will act in the same way. So let's get going and let's start working on the cuff next. So choose your 2 colors. Now what I've done in this pattern is that I couldn't do it as written. It says to slip stitch every row. I was losing my stitch counts and getting smaller and smaller. So what I did is that I improvised. So the way that you see the cuff done like this is not as written. So the way that it's showing you to do it is to slip stitch. So I'm going to show you the way that it's suggesting. You may have better luck than me. I just couldn't get it to work for myself, so I'm not sure why. So let's begin. We're going to create a slip knot with just your one color, and you're going to chain a total of 16. So just 16. So let's count those together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So I have 16. So I'm going to show you the way that it says, and then I'm going to show you the way that I did it, and you decide what's right for you. So the pattern says go second chain from the hook and just go on the back hump of the chain only and slip stitch. So just go in and then pull through and move down the line. It looks absolutely phenomenal. It's just I think with this size crochet hook is it's harder for me to keep an eye on the counts. So you're just gonna slip stitch on the back hump of the chain all the way down, just like this. Now I can seem to get it to work for this row but then I start losing my counts and then I start missing stitches as I'm going along. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to show you the way that I did it to make it more simpler for myself, and it's not considered lazy. I just found with myself I love this pattern so much that I'm not gonna just ignore it because it's great. So what I would do if I were you and you were me, go in the back hump of the chain and just treat it like a single crochet. So second chain from the hook and treat it like a single crochet all the way down. Therefore it grows actually to the 6-inch distance that you need a lot faster, but also you can keep an eye on the stitch counts a lot easier too. So just go down, whether it's slip stitching or single crocheting, all the way down the chain, and I'll see you there in just a moment. So I'm just coming up to the end of the chain and just single crocheting or slip stitching right to the end. So I'm at the end and I'm doing the single crochet technique. Now I'm not gonna finish the final two because I want to introduce my secondary color. In my case it'll be red. So I'm not going to create a slip knot first. I'm just gonna leave an extra long tail and I'm just gonna drag the loop through here and let the blue straggler just stay on the sidelines. I'm now gonna turn my project and get ready for the next one. So if you're doing the slip stitching, you do not chain one first. You simply just go back into the same one and pull through and through. And I'm making it look easier on camera than what I can seem to do in person, but you just slip stitch all your way down and you keep doing that. So but in my case I'm going to stick with just doing it as a single crochet. So when I go to join it, I've turned, I'm going to chain one, and then I'm gonna go in the back loop of the stitch. I should have done that with the slip stitch. I did it but I didn't tell you that. So I'm just gonna stick on the back loops of the stitches going all the way down. Now you're going to notice that this is where all the yarn is gathering at the end. So we're gonna go down and back with the same color and then switch. So that's how it's gonna work. So we're gonna be carrying it up. So if you look at my other sample here, you can see here this is where I carried it, and then when I go to start making the glove I'm gonna make sure that I bury this so that this side is the nice clean side. This is the actual cuff that is exposed to the public as you're wearing it. So simply just single crochet or slip stitch on the back loop all the way down. I'll see you at the end of this row. So I'm coming up to the end of the row, just going to the last one, the back loop, and then turn your work. So basically the other side, like I promised you, is where all of it's gonna change. So you're gonna chain up one and start single crocheting in the back loop. If you were just doing the slip stitching technique, you're not gonna chain one, you're just gonna immediately slip stitch into the back loops, working your way all the way across. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna show you how to change the yarn over back to the blue, and then I'm gonna have you do your 6 inches and then meet me back here after your 6 inches is done, and then we're gonna go from the process to joining the cuff. We're gonna improvise from that too, and then we're gonna start. So I never improvised on the pattern itself of anything beyond the glove or beyond the cuff, but this is kind of a neat idea. So we're just coming to the end of the row. I'm recommending you also keep an eye on the plies that you don't get any extra plies stuck in your stitch work. Coming to the end. So if you're doing it as a single crochet, then you got your 2 loops, drop the red and then bring up the blue and then use that to finish that stitch. So now it's ready. Carry it up so that it's taut. It's not too tight. If it's too tight then it will not expand. Turn your work, chain one, and then go into the back loops, then down and back with blue, and you're gonna keep doing that. If it was the slip stitching like it's recommending, you would have still changed over your yarn, but then you would have just began to slip stitch. So what I want you to do is go back and forth and changing every 2 rows to the other color, and then meet me back here when you have 6 inches done, which is the equivalent to the other one that I have here. So please do that, and I would recommend doing both of your cuffs at the same time. So do both of them. Just put them up together. I would count the number of colors that you see to compare, and then you know that they're the same size. So when we come back we're gonna be starting on the base of the cuff, working its way up, but we have to make the cuff actually fold over. We're gonna be doing that next. So after you get your 6 inches done, then what you want to do is cut an extra long yarn tail, like really extra long, and we're going to be using that tail then to come in to the project in order to make it finished. So what we're going to do is that we are going to chain one, and we're going to slip stitch into the back loop of this one, and going into the complete stitch of the blue section right in the beginning. So in the complete. So there will be 2 strands there, and I want you to slip all the way through everything like that. So going in the back loop again, and then going into the complete stitch of the blue, and this is going to make it look like it's uniform all the way around the cuff. So you're going to slip stitch over, and what I'm recommending then at the end of this is that we use a tapestry needle and to sew in our loose ends to get those out of your way, so that's one less thought. Now because we're doing it like this, this is considered the inside of the cuff. So before we start the next section, you're going to want to flip this cuff inside out, and then that's where you're going to begin. Okay, so just slip stitch yourself all the way down. So I'm coming all the way down the line, and I'm just slip stitching right into the last stitch that's available to me, and into the last one on this side, and I'm just gonna pull through and through. Now just yarning over and just pull the remaining of that strand through. And now before you do anything, you will have blue. I've already taken out the blue here. I've already kind of hid the yarn, but I want you to take this one here and throw it into a tapestry needle and hide in your loose ends now. And when I say hide in, if you use a tapestry needle like this, it'll never come out. So you want just to kind of fold it out, stay to this side of the project, so don't ram the needle through it, and just glide it down on the inside and go once. Don't, when you pull it, don't reef on it so that it causes it to flex, and go twice and go 3 times. 3 times is a charm. Your project can never ever stretch in 3 different directions at one time, so the yarn tail should never fall out. So now you have that done. We are now going to then just flip this inside out, and this is your new cuff. See how it looks perfect? So yeah, this is awesome. So what you can just do is just try it on your hand now, and you now have your cuff. So if you're into aerobics, this might actually be kind of fun, but you can see it fits really quite nicely. The biggest secret that we're going to watch then is the next few rounds, and let's begin doing the section of now working our way up the hand. So in the next part of the tutorial, what I want you to do, the side that the lines are up on, these are the ones when you drag your yarn tails, is the side that it's going to lead up into the glove. So the other side is the nice clean edge, so that'll be at the base like that. So what I want you to do is, using the main color, just create a slip knot, and we have to equally space 30 single crochets. Here's the thing, when we do the 30 single crochets, it's gonna cause it to be almost the right size without a lot of play. So my goal is, when I go to do this, is that if this is too small, I need to change this hook up to go higher. So myself, my glove is now starting to fit more comfortably than it did in the very beginning, so don't overcompensate for the size. Now going into the sides of the ribbing, equally space 30 single crochets around. So just coming through, do your first single crochet. So there is no kind of math or science to it, but you just want to equally space 30 single crochets. So you're just gonna go in. So I tried to get 1 single crochet into the side of the red section, and then 1 single crochet into the blue section, and then I progress kind of evenly, and I'm gonna count. So I'm actually at number 3. So what I'm gonna do for you is that I'm gonna leave this for you. Equally get your 30. You need that number, so don't be improvising on me, and make sure that you get 30 stitches all the way around. When you go in, make sure that it's not just 1 strand you're grabbing. Grab at least 2 strands of material, so then it's stronger when it's going to hold. So I'll see you back here in just a moment. Get your 30 done, and we will start from that point. So when you get all the way back around, just double count to make sure that you do have your 30. I actually did it in the first time around, so that's pretty awesome. So slip stitch to the beginning, single crochet, and then just pull through. We're now going to move up into the pattern now, and we're going to start introducing the Fair Isle concept. If that's a big word for you, don't worry about it. We're gonna work on this together. Let's begin to do that next. So in instructions number 2 all the way through to the end, we're going to be working on the chart. So we're going to fill this in. So I'm gonna show you how to change your yarns. After you get this 5 done, you just repeat it again and again and again until you get to the end of the round. Now for myself is that I noticed that at the end of a round that I added in an extra stitch. So you you may see an extra stitch in this tutorial, not because that it's supposed to be there, it's because I did it on the other one and I saw that I was doing it. So I was kind of improvising a little bit. Remember that if you're going to fake anything on crochet, just be consistent and therefore you should be good to go. So let's show you how to do the fair isle concept next. So as we begin round number 2 all the way to the end, here's what I'm going to suggest to you. Put your main color, the ball, away from you, so almost in front of you, and put the secondary ball towards the side and towards the back of you. Therefore when it comes to the project, it comes together like this. If it's coming from the exact same spot, they come together like this, and therefore they get tangled, and it really will make your life not very much fun. So what I want you to do is that we're going to introduce a fair isle concept in this thing, and we're just following that chart. So we're going to chain up 1, and remember what we have to do when we're changing out our yarns. You have to think ahead about the stitch in front of it. So let's begin our round number 2. Chain up 1, and you're gonna come into the same one that you did the join, and you're going to go in and you're just gonna yarn over and pull through. Now in single crochet I would pull through the second one again, but I can't because I know that the next stitch is the next color. Remember that the final one that you pull through a stitch is actually the roof of the next stitch. So you have to always think ahead. So we know that as per that diagram is that the next stitch should be the secondary color. So you're gonna just pull through the secondary color to finish that stitch. Let that fall down and out of the way. Now what you have to do is that we are going to be using for only 2 stitches this purple, and so I want to lay them down on top of the line. So that includes the straggler that is going to the yarn ball for the red. So let's go into the next stitch, in, pull through, and the next stitch is purple, so I'm gonna finish this purple completely, and then go into the next one and pull through, and the next stitch is red. So I want to drop the purple here, and I want to bring up the red and finish that stitch with the red. Now I told you that it's a 5-stitch repeat, so the next 2 stitches are red, but if you're repeating, the next 3 stitches are red. If you get that, just look at that chart, you'll see it. So for the next 3 they're red. So just going right up over top of the purple to hide it underneath, and you keep going around in that same pattern format. So then this is the third one that's going in now. So I know that the next 2 are gonna be purple, so I drop the red, I finish it with the purple so that the purple is ready, and I put the red down on top. Now you're noticing that I'm dragging through the yarn tail of the purple. That's just because I want to hide it. So the next 2 are purple, but now the next 3 are red, so I'm just going to switch off. So what I want you to do is continue that same technique going all the way around, and you're gonna notice that it's gonna start showing up for you. Okay, so look at the chart. It's 3 reds in a row and then 2 purples, and you could be any color. So please do that same thing going all the way around for round number 2. So I'm coming up all the way around. I'm just following the pattern. So technically there's 2 stitches left, and if you looked at that there should only be 2. However, I told you already, to be completely transparent, that I had 3 stitches left over at the end of a round. So I'm just throwing in an extra one there just to make sure my gloves are the same size. So if you see me putting in 3 here, I'm not trying to be deceptive, I'm just trying to be honest. And I'm going to finish that off and slip stitch it to the top of the first single crochet that we had. And what I want to do is lay down that purple on top and then slip right over top of it to drag it up. So let's begin then round number 3. Round number 3 is very similar. It's just the chart changes and adds an extra purple in and subtracts one of the reds. Let's begin to do that next. Let's begin round number 3. Chain up 1, and the first stitch is red, but remember that the next stitch converts to purple, so we have to switch off to finish it. And now the next 3 in a row are each purple. 1, 2, and 3, but remember the next one is going to be red, so we're going to finish with red. Now there's 2 in a row that are red. Now pull on this once in a while just to tighten it up a little bit. If you over tighten it though, the glove will have no stretch. So you just make sure that it's nice in there, but it's not crazy tight. And just keep on following the pattern as you know it. So just look at your diagram key, your work key, and or your work chart, and you should be good to go for this particular idea. So please do that for round number 3. So I'm coming up to the end of round number 3, and on round number 3 technically there'd be only one red left, but in my case I added an extra stitch, so just being transparent about that again. So you're going to slip stitch to the beginning one that you had started with, and then we are going to then move up to round number 4 where we're going to continue the same concept. So remember the round number 4, if you look at it, the purple is delayed by 1, so we're going to start up and start with red. The next one will be red, but remember we're gonna switch to purple, so finish it with purple, and then the next 2 are purple. And now the next 3 in a row are each red. So you can see that the shaping of the Fair Isle has changed, and which is given the look of this. So please do this now for round number 4, and then we're gonna continue then and start working on making areas or making room for the thumb. So I'm coming all the way back around and I'm just following the pattern as I know it, plus I added in my extra. I'm no longer gonna say I'm adding extra at the end of the round, just to be completely honest with you. So that was round number 4. Now round number 5 we're now going to start and we're gonna do some expansion. So I'm going to pull up my diagram and show you one more time, showing you how it's gonna expand, and I want you to keep an eye on this center line. So right where you're doing the slip stitching, there's 3 Fair Isles on one side and 3 Fair Isle on the other. Let's look at the diagram. So on my diagram we're actually going right to expand. So I have 2 areas of blocks. This is just a demonstration purposes. We're going to now start growing out. Now in between the boxes that you see is that we have 2 rounds that are simply of the main color. Here's the thing, if you drop the secondary color and don't put it in those rounds, it's not the same thickness in the stitches. So you still have to drag your secondary color around 2 rounds, just hiding it underneath to keep the stitch work looking the same. You can if you decide not to, that's completely up to you. I just did a whole thing on way you crochet. I haven't put anything out on video format, but it changes the thickness of the stitches if you leave the yarn that you've been hiding in and out for this Fair Isle in order to get it to go. So let's do round number 5, and we are going to start doing expansions right in the one side. So it's completely opposite to where you've done the slip stitching, is that the thumb area is gonna appear over here somewhere. So we've got to count our stitches to get ourselves there, and let's begin round number 5. So let's begin round number 5. It's gonna be an expansion round. So you're gonna chain up 1. We're only gonna use the main color. So keep the secondary color, the purple that you see right underneath the stitches. And I need you to single crochet in the first 14. So just go right up over top of that secondary and count out 14. So this is number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, this is 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So I have my 14 in. The next 2 in a row are each 2 single crochets. So this is the starting of the thumb. So put 2 into that one and then put 2 into the next one right beside it. And now let's move on then to finish this round of 1 single crochet in the remaining. Notice that I'm not counting all the way back to the end because I know that my stitch counts are right. So I don't have to count all the way. You can see there I just grabbed an extra piece of ply of that one here of that Fair Isle. I don't want that. I want to make sure it's a nice clean look. So if you catch a few fibers, just make sure that it's better to correct it now than to look at it later and say, gee, I wish I would have caught that. So single crochet yourself all the way back to the beginning, and then we're going to start round number 6 together. So I'm just coming back to the very beginning and I'm single crocheting all the way. I'm still carrying up my secondary yarn, and then I slip stitch to the beginning single crochet that I started with. Now round number 6, nice easy round, 1 single crochet with the main color, still continuing to bury the secondary color, and you're just gonna do 1 single crochet in each one of the stitches going all the way around. So every other round is a nice simple round like this where you just do 1 single crochet, and what it does is it allows the thumb area on the other side to grow equally. 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around for round number 6. So I'm coming up to the end of round number 6, and round number 7 we're going to reintroduce back the Fair Isle concept. Just make sure you slip stitch to the beginning single crochet. So now we're going to begin and we're going to reintroduce the Fair Isle concept, and we're going to restart that chart now, starting back on row number 1 of that chart as we go. We're also going to be doing an expansion when we get there. Here's the nice thing. You have to repeat that chart 3 times before you start thinking about doing the expansion on the other side. You do the expansion and then you repeat the chart 3 more times coming back. Really quite simple to be able to follow. So remember, in the chart we chain up 1 and we come back in and we make it red, but the next one is going to be purple for 2, so we're going to switch out. So what I want you to do is repeat the Fair Isle 3 times and then meet me back here, and we're going to continue. Then I'll show you the expansion, and then you're going to repeat the chart 3 times again to get ourselves back to the end of this round. This is round number 7. So now that I repeated this a set of 3 times, I finish right, and there's 3 reds right in the end of the chart before we then go on. So we get the 3 sets done. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next single crochet twice. So basically the next single crochet is going to have 2 single crochets using only the red. Just bury that secondary color, and then the one right after it is going to have 2 red as well, or 2 single crochets. And then we begin the chart once again, making our way back to where we began. So the first one is red, but then the next one ends up turning purple, and just follow the chart just to get yourself back to the very beginning on doing this technique. So do that, and I'll see you at the end of this round. I'm now coming up to the end of round number 7, and I'm just going to finish it off as I know it. So there is the chart done. I just got my extra one. Man, I promised that I would not say that I'm doing that anymore, but I did. So I'm just going to slip stitch then to the beginning, and let's begin round number 8. So as we begin round number 8, we're just going to chain up 1, and we're just going to follow the chart for 3 times. And what we're going to do in the thumb area on the other side, which you can almost start seeing it happen, is that we're just going to just put 1 single crochet in each one of those. We're not going to do an expansion. So the first one is red, and then it switches off to purple, and then there's 3 purples in a row, and etc. Just look at that chart and do it a minimum of 3 times, and then I'll see you at the thumb area, and just make sure that you're getting yourself settled into that. So I'll see you there in just a moment. So I'm now just finishing up the 3 repeats of the chart. The last one is a red one here. And now what it says to do in this next section is to fill it in with single crochets that we're going to do, and it says each of the next 4. So just 4 in a row is just single crochet, and that's a matter of keeping in balance to the pattern anyway. So 1, and going up over top of the other strand. This is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. And then you begin the repeating of that chart again. You see it's a red, and then you're switching off to purple. So please do the remaining of that chart going back to the end of round number 8. So I'm coming up to the end of round number 8, just finishing off the pattern as I know it, and then I'm going to then start into round number 9. Round number 9 we're going to start an expansion. So I'm not gonna show you the technique all the way, but what I want you to do is that I want you to start the round number 3 of the chart. So you're just gonna chain up 1, and there will be 2 reds in a row, 1 and 2, and then you switch off and there's only 2 purples, and then there will be 3 reds after that. So what I want you to do is repeat that a total of 3 times, and then I will see you at the end of the 3rd time, and then we're gonna be at the thumb area, and we're gonna increase once again round number 9. So round number 9 we're just finishing off this one. So there's one last red one, and that is in the repeat. Okay, so now what we're going to do then is 2 single crochets in the next. So 1 and 2, and then it says 1 single crochet in the next 2. So the next 2 in a row are 1 and 1, and then the next one has 2. So there is your expansion, and now you're going to begin the repeating of the intarsia once again. Just start right where you are. So the first one is red, and the next one is red, and then bring in your purple. So please repeat your intarsia working in that chart. This is round number 3 of that chart, and this is round number 9. So we're just finishing up round number 9, and I'm just finishing the pattern as I know it. Now number 10 is not an expansion round, it's just a one single crochet, but the nice thing about it is now that you've done your chart, the next 2 rows that we're about to do are just the main color, and so you're just gonna drag the secondary color. Round number 10 is just one single crochet into each stitch all the way around. Just drag your other color underneath it, and then I will see you at the end of round number 10. So just one into each. I know it's your favorite round so far. So just finishing up the end of round number 10, and I'm just going to join it. Now number 11 is an expansion round. So I'm not going to show you how to count all the way around. I'm just gonna chain up 1, and now for the next 15 in a row they're each gonna be one single crochet. So we're not using a Fair Isle technique, so just bury that secondary colors for 15 stitches. So this is 1 and 2, and I'll see you at the end of 15. So once you get your 15 in there, which I just did, the next one is gonna be 2 single crochets, and then what it says to do is 1 single crochet in each of the next 4. So let's just put the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the next 2 is 2 single crochets, and then you're gonna repeat what you already know. So let me just take a look. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 2 into this one, and then it's just 1 single crochet in the rest of them all the way back to the very beginning. This is round number 11. So I'm now finishing up round number 11. Just slip stitch it to the top of the first single crochet, or the beginning single crochet. Now we're gonna reintroduce back our Fair Isle concept again. Now number 12 is just simply just following the chart, and there is no expansion on the thumb side. So I want you to repeat the chart area 3 times. So starting back up again, so chaining up 1, we know the first block is red, and then the next block is purple. So just repeat it 3 times, and I'll see you after that, and we'll be in the thumb area once again. So I've now just repeated the chart 3 times. The next 8 stitches in a row are just single crochets, so there's no expansion this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we begin the Fair Isle concept again. So the first one is then red, and then the second one ends up being purple, and etc. Please repeat that chart again 3 times, working your way back to the end of this round. So now just finishing up round number 12. So I'm just keeping the pattern as I know it, and then slip stitch to the beginning single crochet. Let's begin round number 13. It's an expansion round once again. So we're just gonna maintain the chart again. So chaining up 1, and we start off, and we just maintain the colors as we know it. So this is the second row of the chart, if you haven't already figured that out. And what I'm gonna do is have you repeat it 3 times, and then meet me back here, and then we'll show you the expansion again for the thumb. This is round number total of 13. Yeah, round number 13. So here in 13 we're now at the thumb area. I've repeated a total of 3 times. So now we're going to move on, and it's 2 single crochets in the first one. So 1 and 2, and now there's 6 single crochets in a row. So let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then there's 2 into the next one. And then that takes you back to starting the Fair Isle concept again. So the first one is red, and then it switches over to purple. So just repeat that charting again 3 times, taking you to the end of the round. This is round number 13. So now coming up to the end of round number 13, I'm just going to join it to the first single crochet, and then we begin again round number 14. 14 is not an expansion round, but we do need to finish off the final row of the repeating of the Fair Isle. You're going to chain up 1, and the first 2 will be reds, and you'll just follow the chart, repeat it 3 times. I'll see you at the end of the 3 times, and we'll be in the thumb area, and then we'll just fill those in with single crochets then. So just continue to repeat the pattern as you know it. So now that I've repeated myself a total of 3 times, we're now going to do 10 single crochets in a row. So there's no expansion. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, and then we do the repeat of the Fair Isle concept again. So the first box is red and etc. So you can look at the diagram for that. So please do that for the remaining of round number 14. So we're coming up to the end of round number 14, just finishing off the pattern as we know it. So rounds number 15 and 16 you're gonna love because there's no Fair Isle concept for those two rounds, but you are still going to drag them underneath. So let's begin to move on to round number 15. It is an expansion, but just drag the other secondary color underneath. Let's begin round number 15. So now just dragging the yarn underneath, you're just going to chain up 1, and it's going to be 1 single crochet in each of the next 15. So let's count those. So 1, 2 and 3. Go all the way to 15. Pause right now and I'll see you there at the end of 15. So now that my 15 is in there, all I need to do then is the next one is gonna have 2 single crochets in it, and then there is gonna be a total of 1 single crochet into the next 8. So let's count those out together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And then the next one has 2 single crochets in it, and then we begin the repeat pattern. Well, actually in this one there's no Fair Isle concept, so we just continue then to finish this row with 1 single crochet into each all the way back to the beginning. Please finish now round number 15. So now finishing up round number 15, and I'm going to move on now to number 16. 16 it says as the 10th round, which simply means it's just 1 single crochet in each. So chain up 1 and continuing to bury that secondary color all the way around, 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around for round number 16. Please do that. I'll see you at the end of this round. So now coming up to the end of round number 16, just join it to the first single crochet, and now we're gonna reintroduce back the Fair Isle concept once again. Chain up 1, and this is an expansion round, so I want you to repeat the chart again 3 times in order to get it to go, and then once you repeat it 3 times I'll see you at the end of that, and you'll be in the thumb area and we will expand and make it even bigger. So continue now and I'll see you at the thumb area of this round number 17. So now I've repeated 3 times, and now the next one will be 2 single crochets into the same one, and then to get to the other side then before expanding it will be 10 in a row. So let's count those out together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, and then the next one has 2 into the same one, and then you begin the repeat pattern again for your Fair Isle. So the first box is red and etc. So continue then just to repeat 3 more times the Fair Isle concept. I'll see you at the end of round number 17. So now continuing all the way back around here, round number 17, just join it to the top of the first single crochet. So going into number 18 is not an expansion round, but we are going to maintain the pattern as we know it. So just chain up 1 and begin round row number 2 of that color block, or the word block or chart block, whatever block you want to call it. That's what you should call it today, and just continue to maintain, and I'll repeat that total of 3 times, and I'll see you at the thumb area, and we'll just make sure that you're getting off to the right start there. If there's even part of the clip even made sense, I don't know. So I'll see you at the thumb area after these 3 are repeated. So I repeated the Fair Isle 3 times, and now I'm in the thumb area. So this time there is no expansion, so there's going to be 14 single crochets in a row. So let's count those out together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Once you get your 14 in, then you start repeating the pattern as you know it. Oh sorry, 14, and now you start repeating the pattern as you know it. So just continue that Fair Isle concept again and continue along. So please do that now. So now just finishing up round number 18, moving on to 19. 19, we're now going to start eliminating out a whack of stitches. So this whole thumb area that we have over here, when I put my hand down on it, we are going to be eliminating and jumping over a whole whack to here to create the opening for the thumb. So now it's gonna get faster for you to make. We're going to maintain the pattern as you know it. So repeat the pattern as you know it a total of 3 times again, and then I'll see you at the thumb area where we're gonna skip a whack of stitches and make a hole for the thumb. So please start the pattern now or repeating it 3 times. So let's begin to make room for the thumb. So we have to skip a total of 14 single crochets in order to do it. Here's what I would do. You have to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you have to count 14 of these stitches. So the next 14 we're gonna skip. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So skip those. You are going to go on the stitch, just as a reference point, is right when the next repeat starts. Now you're going to finish that off. So just put it as a single crochet. When you do that though, put the straggler down on top and trap it underneath. So you can see that that straggler of that line is just been resting underneath. The next time that we go over this chain 5, I want you to get that so that it's in position underneath this. We're no longer doing any more expansion, so I know that's gonna be the highlight of your day. So we're going to continue the pattern as we know it, and we're going to finish off the Fair Isle for this round, and I'll see you at the end, or I'll see you at the beginning of round number 20. So I'm just finishing up round number 19, and then I am ready then for round number 20. So the next 2 rounds have no Fair Isle concept at all, but you're still gonna drag it underneath. So round number 20, I'm just going to explain it to you. So you're just going to just chain up 1, and you're going to single crochet in round in each stitch. Now I want to show you what I'm gonna do with the chain, because the chain is just 1 single crochet into each, but remember I just showed you we dragged that 1 yarn strand underneath. So I want you to trap that one into position. Now you've just eliminated out 14 stitches on the last round, so that means you have 14, so then you added a chain of 5. So you're actually gonna get a lot faster because you don't have to go as far around as you did before. Now when you get to the chain, I want you to go into the chain work. Okay, so just go into the chain, and I want you to secure that other one that you dragged underneath into position as well with it, so it gets it stuck into the same one, and I want you to single crochet around it. So you're single crocheting around the one you're dragging, and as well as the one that you have currently. And what that's doing is it's getting it so that your hands don't catch on that in time, or your thumb doesn't catch on that when you go to insert your hand. So it just takes you a little bit of extra care to do that. So you fill in those 5, and then just continuing around, it's just 1 single crochet in each. So you can see then the thumb has got everything secured underneath. So please just single crochet into each all the way around. So I'm coming up to the end of round number 20, just slip stitching into the first single crochet. You're also going to hide this secondary yarn again in. This is the same as the 10th round, so it just means that there's 1 single crochet in each of the stitches going all the way around. No expansion, just nice and simple. Just bury that secondary, and then meet me at the end of round number 21, and we're going to then do rounds number 22, 23, and 24. I'm just going to just talk your way just to get you to do it. It's no expansion. It's like it was in the very beginning when we started way down there, so it's really quite easy. Let's continue then into round number 22 in just a moment. So I'm at the end of round number 21. Now 22, 23, and 24 is repeating this Fair Isle concept. The only difference is that you're gonna repeat it, and you're gonna continue to repeat it all the way around. Now what's gonna happen is that there is going to be another Fair Isle right here. So if you look at it from this perspective, so instead of just having 3 on the one side and then 3 on the other, there's 1 directly right in the middle, and I'm not doing anything special to get it there. It just happens on its own. So as you begin to do then rounds number 22, 23, 24, follow what you know and just keep repeating the Fair Isle concept, and it'll be a total of repeating of 5 times, and I want you to do that now. So do now rounds number 22, 23, and 24. I'll see you at the end of that. I've now come up to the end of round number 24. So 22, 23, and 24 now done. You can see the Fair Isles in. I promised you that it would show up around the thumb, and it does, and then the other 3 are on the other side. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to now get rid of the secondary color. We're no longer going to use it. The next 3 rounds are going to be done. When you cut this one, make sure you leave enough to be able to get a tapestry needle through it later. Just tuck it on the inside of your glove for now, or of your fingerless mittens, and I want you to then begin round number 25. Really quite straightforward, and we're gonna get ourselves started. And round number, this one here is chain up 1 and 1 single crochet into each. So rounds number 26 and 27 after this, we're gonna switch off with the other color that we used in the cuff. So I used a different color, so I'm gonna be switching off for that for the final 2 rounds, and then this particular mitten is completely done. So just 1 single crochet in each. This is round number 25, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of round number 25, so we're just going to join it. This is the last time you've seen the red here. This is done. Bye-bye. So we're just gonna just fasten this off, leave an extra long yarn tail. We're gonna deal with that. Just pull it up and just lock it. So just pull it through, and you can tuck that on the inside of the mitten, and we're gonna deal with that. We're gonna flip it out later. The next 2 rounds are just very straightforward. 1 single crochet into each. Just create a slip knot to begin, starting right where you finished, and right where I finished right there, and just join it and create a single crochet. And I am gonna go actually take this yarn strand that's here, and this one you might as well bury it underneath and just start single crocheting right up over top of it, just like that, and just go all the way around, single crochet, and then when we get back around we're gonna slip stitch and single crochet one more time. Once this is buried for about 2 inches, about halfway across, I would cut the remaining of this yarn out, and then it's out of the way and completely buried, and then you don't gotta sew it in later. Done. So just continue to single crochet all the way around. This is round number 26. So just coming to the last stitch, just slip stitch to the beginning, then go one more time. So chain up 1. This is the last round, everybody. This is number 27. Single crochet all the way around. I'll see you at the end of the round, and then we're gonna just dive in to being able to make sure you got all your ends woven in, and then you're good to go. You're gonna have to do a second set, obviously, if you have 2 hands. If you don't, that's okay too. We don't judge. And this is kind of a neat idea, and I'll see you at the end of this round. So I'm coming all the way back around. Just slip stitch to the top of the beginning single crochet, and you're done. You're over. Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada bing. That saying is on a Italian restaurant here in Canada. So you're just gonna pull through. Now what I'm gonna recommend is that you turn your glove inside out. So let's turn it inside out. Let's find out all the loose ends that we've had along the way. There shouldn't be too many of them, and let's find them all and let's start weaving them in. So awesome. So remember that when we dropped this one here at some point, we want to stay to the inside of the mitten. So what I want you to do is just, I'll show it to you once and then you're good to go, and I'm gonna expect you to do the rest. Stay on the inside of the project and just glide it through, and then come back the other way second time, and you want to do a third time. So go through your glove, any loose ends that you have, and then I'm gonna do the test of seeing if it actually fits. So please do that now. I'll see you at the end of this. Okay, once you have all your loose ends all taken care of, you're good to go. Flip it back out the right way. Now I have not tried this on my hand yet, so I'm going to do it on camera here. Now the very first time that I tried the other one, it was really quite tough, so let me just put that one on first. This one here is a lot looser than this one because I've already tried it on, and getting it through this one section right here can be a little bit tough the first time. So there is one. Let me just zoom out a little bit more. So Daniel suggests to roll the cuff up. He said it looks better. And that's why you wanted to make sure that that yarn strands were on the part of the glove. So let's try the other one. Now because I understand the pattern more than I did the first time through, I think this is looser than what I had begin. So I'm kind of stuck right here. But I'm not gonna give up. And I know what you're thinking, oh my God. Just get the butter out. Okay, so I got it on. Now I'm just gonna wear this for a little bit and just let it stretch with my hand, and look, matching set. Isn't that awesome? So the thumb area is good, so if I want to just rotate it around a little bit more, I can do that. And these are good to go. So this is how to make the Peyton's fingerless gloves. Great for texting with your phones, anything like that. I think these are just the bomb in a good way, and I'm really quite happy with them. So hopefully until next time, have a good one, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.